Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's look at the next question. Sir, can you please tell us about the staff of Musa alayhi salam? Was it a special staff? Was it from a normal, regular wood? Or it was a special staff that was given to Musa alayhi salam? Well, as we dive into several books that have been written about that staff of Musa alayhi salam, we find some amazing information about it, which I would like to share with you. This staff, or as in Arabic, asa, is from the wood tree from the paradise. And Prophet Adam alayhi salam brought it with him from the paradise. And it was passed through various prophets until it reached Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. The name of the staff was Ulayq or Naba'ah. Naba'ah or Ulayq are the two names that comes in the books. And the name of this staff was Ulayq or Naba'ah. These two names and this information is mentioned in Tafsir al-Khazin, volume number 1, page number 57. And not just this, there are some other properties about the staff, but before I tell you that, I would like you to look at a couple of ayahs from the Quran in Surah Taha, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Musa alayhi salam, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى? And what is in your right hand, O Moses? And Musa alayhi salam response was, قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي. That, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is my staff. And Allah knows best. It's just like Musa alayhi salam was in such a mental state that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to concentrate on something that he's more familiar with so that he can spiritually calm down, because that moment was not an ordinary moment for anyone. So Musa alayhi salam said, this is my staff. أتوكأ عليه. Now that response was good enough, but Musa alayhi salam's state, you need to understand that he wants to have a longer conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, أتوكأ عليها, I lean on it. وأهش بها على غنمي, and with it I beat down branches for my sheep. And then Musa alayhi salam said, وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَآرِبُ أُخْرَى, and I have other uses for it. And based on this particular part of this ayah, we find great details of what are those other uses that were given to Musa alayhi salam that the staff was doing for him. So I would like to first of all take you to some of the qualities of this particular staff, that this staff or asa was not an ordinary one. It was a longer asa, and it had two branches that gave off light in the darkness. And I'll tell you a little bit more detail, and this detail doesn't come in Tafsir al-Khazin, but comes in a different book. I'll tell you what those details are, and the reference of that book as well. So in Tafsir al-Khazin, volume number 1, page 57, it's summarized, I'm telling you, that it had two branches that gave off light in the darkness. And the staff would guard while Prophet Musa alayhi salam is asleep. That is also referenced in Tafsir al-Khazin, but volume number 3, page 259. And it would walk along with him. It could even speak to him. It would strike enemies and wild beasts. It would turn into a rope to draw water from a well, and it could carry loads for him. And when planted into the ground, it would turn into a fruit-bearing tree, as comes in Tafsir al-Nasafi, page number 688. And many of the other miracles of Musa alayhi salam are associated with this particular staff. Now, let me take you to another book, which is called Hikayat Qalyubi. Hikayat Qalyubi is a book that is written by Allama Shihabuddin Qalyubi, rahimahullah. He was a very famous individual, a jurist, a very learned scholar 300 years ago, in the year 1700s. So, and he was based in Masr or Egypt, and he was Shafi'i as far as his madhab is concerned. So from the Arba'a Madhahib, he was Shafi'i. And let me take you through his work as to what he collected in his work about this particular staff or asa of Musa alayhi salam. And on page number 246 of Hikayat al-Qayyubi, he says that there are not one but two, but there are 13 things this staff or asa would do for Musa alayhi salam. Number one, he said, when it rained, Prophet Musa alayhi salam would raise his staff above his head like a shield and sit beneath it to protect him from the rain. So his staff would function like an umbrella. Number two, he said, when clouds would hide the sun and it became difficult to tell the time, his staff would glow brightly like the sun and indicate the sun's position. Thirdly, he says that in extreme heat while herding goats when he felt hot, so Prophet Musa alayhi salam would plant his staff into the ground and it would turn into a tree with broad leaves under which he would rest. Number four, when he wanted to give water to his goats, the staff would transform into a long rope reaching the depth of the well, with its end becoming bucket shape. And then he said, well, the fifth thing that this staff would do for Musa alayhi salam, whenever he needed water, he would strike the ground with his staff and springs would gush forth. Number six, in frightening places during the day, Prophet Musa alayhi salam would throw his staff and it would turn into a terrifying lion for protection. And then seventh thing he stated is that at night his staff would turn into a snake resembling a palm tree, guarding him like a watchful sentinel. And then number eight, when traveling from one place to another with food or supplies, his staff would become a bag in which he would carry the items. Number nine, when he would be severely thirsty, he would drink water from one end of the staff as it would turn into a water bottle. Number 10, when he would feel cold, he would place the staff beside him and it would turn into a warm quilt. Number 11, when facing an enemy, he would present his staff, which would become a serpent and swallow the enemy whole. So as you probably notice in case of when the magician threw the ropes, the staff acted like a big serpent and ate all the ropes. And then number 12, when he needed to knock leaves off for his goat, the staff would become like a stick. And that's also mentioned in Surah Taha, which he would use to shake the branches and bring down the leaves. And number 13, whenever he would desire to eat fruit, he would pull out a branch from the staff. The staff would basically bear fruit from him and he would just eat from those fruits. So these are 13 of them that are put together by Allama Shahabuddin. So that's basically an explanation or the tafsir of that last part of Ayah 18 of Surah Taha, where Musa alayhi salam said, وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَآرِبُ أُخْرَى, and have other uses for it. Allah knows best. Allah knows best. So again, since you guys asked about it, so went through a few books, did some research, put together a list of items that I found, and presented to you. I hope it was helpful and beneficial for you, and new knowledge for a lot of you as well. Well, again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please asking your questions. Your questions help us prepare these videos, because these videos are a result of your questions. So there are, again, your questions that I have a whole list of. I'm going through them one by one, and inshallah we will get to your questions as well. Don't forget to keep asking these wonderful questions that you're asking our way. Share these videos with more people, and we'll catch you next time. Assalamu alaikum.